Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. I'm Rishabh Gulati. Ladies and gentlemen, America has voted and decided its mind for its interests. There is a wisdom of the crowd that applies a statistical significance to that result. That is America's choice and its people and its citizenry to decide what's best for them in their wisdom. Now we need to have some straight talking from India. And let's put that out in perspective on your screens. The 11 takeaways from India on what happens with the Trump win. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, and let's not try to delude ourselves because this is publicly happening, the active influence of the George Soros linked lobbies as major contributors to various democratic races, we can see a decline in them. Let's take on this one by one so I can take this through one by one. We are hopefully going to see, as Indians, a decline in that. Let us not kid ourselves of what George Soros' opinion on the current Indian administration is. Let's not kid ourselves that he, even in retirement, has had influence in the Democratic Party, which has hurt the India-US relation. That is the straight talk. It is reasonable to assume that there has been some rapport. Donald Trump takes over in January of 2025. Narendra Modi's third term continues till 2029. Both of them will have a coincidental term now, and the two of them have definitely enjoyed a better rapport than Modi-Biden. Number three, there are less chances now of a Trump administration obsessing at every opportunity about Indian oil purchases from Russia. Number four, there is more likelihood of an alignment and an alignment which is so obvious, a confluence of interests on China. It's so obvious. But what has happened over the course of the past several weeks is that the nod, wink, wink of the US administration in egging on Justin Trudeau to target the Indian establishment has resulted in the Indian establishment sitting in a Brazil, Russia, India, China meet, and has resulted also in a rapprochement of India and China on their border issues. This does not make long-term sense for the United States, nor does it make long-term sense for India, but that's the straight talk that needs to be absorbed. There is now, conversely, more likelihood of trade tariffs even on Indian exports. So don't think that Donald Trump won't come after Indian exports and services and goods. It might happen, more likely it will happen. However, I'm hoping there is a less likelihood of American intervention in India's near neighborhood. Now think about it, a next door neighbor holds an election, a woman prime minister returns to power, she travels to Beijing for 10 days, she returns, and within the month, non-existent protests have gotten so out of control that she has to leave the country and seek political asylum, and the man who took his last paycheck from the Clinton Foundation runs the country now. Digest that for a second in straight talk. Point number 7, there are better chances of a resolution to the war in Ukraine. Ukrainians have died and Russians have died. So if you think that this is going to end overnight, it's not. But is it more likelihood? Perhaps, we hope. There is likely to be an increase in confrontation with Donald Trump on India's association and purchases from Iran. Number 9, we are more likely as Indians to see a positive response on the much promised and much awaited technology transfers, including that of a jet engine manufactured by GE into India. And finally, and one can hope that Hindu phobia and global attacks that are taking place on Hindus will be taken seriously by this new administration.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.